Hello and welcome back to Esoteric Ebb. We are back on the main menu and we have some new artwork in the background, and of course we have our DM's notes from last time. Alright, so last time you got through the whole intro sequence. Just a day ago a local tea shop exploded and it's your job to figure out why. For some reason you woke up at the bottom of a morgue. Great start. You had a little chat with Viskin, the pale-faced local mortician, and of course you also took a look down into the city below, which you'll have to return to later. But you're still in Viskin's lair! I mean, the Lich House, I mean the local mortuary. So go outside, Chris. Alright, Chris, if that is your real name. I think it is. We'll do what you tell us to. We'll go outside. So, that's what we're gonna do. I'm still not figured out how I'm going to solve this whole exhaustion thing. I don't know how I'm going to solve that. What we might do is we might do something that is a kind of a Disco Elysium thing that I've seen people do, which is go wide, find as many checks as you can in a day, and then narrow, right? So then go, okay, so I know about all these checks, I'm going to go through those. So we could maybe, I'm assuming a long rest gets rid of all your exhaustion, so we could maybe find a bunch of checks, and then next time, or when we've had a long rest, we can go and have a look at all the things we've unlocked and see what makes sense to do, right? It is an option, but we'll see. Anyway, let's go outside. Okay, so there's actual people around. Does our map have any info, by the way? It's journal, isn't it? Kinda has info. Yeah, it's a very vague map, but I think I understand. Yeah, so this is where we are right now. Okay. Well, let's have a look at these first. Something's inside this old vase. Alright, it's mine. Can't speak to that person. Oh, what's this? Men at work beneath Asgal's green banner. Okay. Hello. This is Alphaz BE. It's a constitution check to find out about him. Okay. He's a level 3 dwarf exile. He stands by his ideals with gut and little else. A push will earn his respect. That is his way. Okay. And how about you? Simi and the boys. This is a charisma check. Again, not a very good roll. Okay, level 2. A devoted Asgal gives everything he has to support the cause. A second son kind of person lives in the shadow of greater men. Okay. Hello. Engage. Around the amphitheater scene, you see a number of dwarves hard at work. They're constructing a banner of some kind, carrying a bright green flag. The banner of Asgal, the Fool. One of the dwarfs stands to face you with a furrowed brow. Oi, Mr. City Man, he calls out to you as you approach. We made it clear already, we're not moving. Not one bit. He shoots you a shit-eating grin. That's no way to greet the Cleric of Norvik. Oh, is that so? Guessing I'm supposed to grovel. I feel like you're not going to. No need to, you see. You hear the other dwarves laughing behind them. Nothing illegal going on here. Nothing at all. Wait, that must mean that he's doing something highly illegal. Stop him. Nothing illegal, huh? We have the papers, nothing illegal at all. You're both guilty and innocent, just like you. One of the older dwarfs spits on the ground next to him. You even know who you're talking to, child. This here be Alphas of the Ban Enviers, a foreman in the Asgalist movement of Norvik. Ban Enviers? Ban Enviers, one of the big dwarf clans. They funnel tons of penning into Norvik. Dwarf? Dwarf, stout, short, hairy, loves to dig and build, you know, the drill, head drill. They built most of Norvik and have a long history of Earthfolk. Okay. He's done more good than all of you Earthguard combined. A true speaker for Asgul. You're a celebrity. Simi exaggerates. He gives the older dwarf the stink eye. I'm also not in any way proud of my heritage. Nobility is just a poisonous hierarchy. He grins. Just wanted to make that clear. Don't mention the whole noble thing, it'll just piss him off. Unless you want that? A nobleman, huh? In the old country, yeah. That doesn't matter here, I'm just a foreman of the Tolstad district. Foreman? I've worked my whole life for the movement. I've earned my title. He's terribly defensive. If you wanted to spark something out of him, you could make him angry. I bet you're only here because of Mommy and Daddy. What did you say? You must have misheard me. I said don't forget to thank Mommy and Daddy for the foreman position. He clenches his jaw and stares at you. See, that's the difference between you and me, human. He takes a deep breath and mutters, my work speaks for itself. Okay, so about this Asgal. What about him? Everyone knows Asgal is some dwarven demigod or controversial leader. If you want to piss off this dwarf, then just pretend not to know who Asgal is. Who is he? Who is? He is taken aback by your question. He's Asgal. Asgal the Great. The Kind. Our Liberator. His message is as flawed and as complicated as his... Oh, his legacy is as flawed and complicated as his message. Never heard of him. You've never heard of potatoes either. Huh? Potato? Ah! He takes a step back. Ignorant child, he mutters under his breath. I've got to ask though, is this a religion? Most certainly not, he scoffs in your general direction. Is it a cult? I don't know who you've been talking to, Mr. City Man, but let me assure you, Asgal was no god or demigod or anything related to it. He was a simple man with a dream of a fair and just society. Well, I'll have you know, Alphas, I've been speaking to the voice inside my head that represents... Which one was it that told us about Asgal? Intelligence, maybe? Or was it charisma? I was speaking to the voices in my head, and they would never lie to me. Nothing more. Ouch, sore spot. You guys setting up a play or something? Also, I've realized I've just been winding this guy up for no reason. There's no, like, value in it for me. Anyway, you guys setting up a play or something? A play? He spits on the ground. We're holding a rally for the cause. This evening, workers across Tolstad will gather here to hear the word of Asgal. He turns to the orc. And no one's going to stop it. Orc. Orc, big brutes of devilish origin. They're rare in Norvik. Most of them can be found in Feltire. Brutes. Brute. Varingi slang for brother. I don't feel like that's linked to the one above, but anyway. Specifically the dialect grown out of the coastal slang, a mix between gnome tongue and underclass migrant workers in old Mago colonies. You hear laughing coming from across the theatre. Papers, Alphas. He grumbles and turns back to you. So, what do you want? You seem a bit stressed. No, you don't say. His words drip with the acid from a green deer. So, it is forenoon. I get the lads together, and when we arrive, that accursed woman is standing here. The dwarf shudders. She starts complaining. He reaches for something in his pocket and takes out some documents. We show her the papers. And the papers are no good, she says. Ah. Ooh, Circle Square conflict added. New quest. Real convenient, I say. No, there is nothing wrong with these papers. We are in our rights to speak out against tyrants and burghers. Bureaucracy. They sure are playing a game they can't win. So she's wrong about the documents. Of course she is. She's a liar, that one. A filthy liar. Alphonse nods and grunts. I get the feeling she's not wrong. Terrible liar. Can't even get the words out. Can I see the papers? He gives his companions a glance. Why? Well, I'm going to construct an argument for why I can see these papers. Yikes. This idiot won't listen to reason. He's beneath you. Just say anything. I want to see who's in the right. That be us, Mr. City Man. I want it so much. You... Excuse me, what? So much. The dwarf looks at you with a disturbed expression. I want to help so bad. He furrows his thick brow. You think I trust the city? Go away. Alright, never mind. He just glares at you. So what's this rally about, exactly? He grunts. Guilds. For decades, there's been collective bargaining between Norvikian workers and the city guilds. Say what you want about Earth, but he keeps a tight leash on the upper class of this city. Damn right he did. Although, wait, do we say damn right he did, or blessed be his name? No, we're gonna say damn right he did. Yeah, but look, he ain't been the same since his death. The Free Striders are buried into every darn power structure, from paper boys to bookbinders. In less than a dozen years, salaries have stagnated and prices have gone up. They said Free Striderism would make the city rich. I say it makes its people poor. We need change. So you're here to convince a bunch of Tolstad workers to vote for the Agalist party? More or less, yeah. But it's also about the spirit of community. Together, we can fight against the purchasers of our labor. Alone, we're as brittle as a twig in the, The older dwarf pipes up. A twig in the wind. No, that's not good enough. Like a twig in a fireplace. He points to you. That's good, I like that. Anyway, the rally will be a success. We just need to get rid of that orc. So we can call out to all workers of this magnificent city, he exclaims as if there was a crowd behind him. Vote! Vote with your guts, with your manhood at stake. There is no doubting our manhood. You too, Mr. Cityman. Isn't it a bit macabre to hold a rally on top of a morgue? Okay, I have to say it every time with this word, since I learned there's a difference. Yes, if you're American, you would say macabre. If you're French and you're speaking the language that the word came from, you'll say it differently. In the UK, it's macabre. Don't ask why. Anyway, isn't it a bit macabre to hold a rally on top of a morgue? Morgue. The dwarf grumbles to himself and glances over to the Lich House stairs. I thought it was a dentist. No matter, the Azkal movement is not afraid of death. You hear laughter from the orc behind you. Big words, Alphas. The dwarf grits his teeth. Damn orc. Okay, good luck fighting tyrants. Thank you, Mr. Cityman, I appreciate it. About the rally. Okay, I just want to check we were done. Alright, have fun now. Alright. What about you? So this is the second son type of person. Lives in the shadow of greater men. The older dwarf puffs out his chest as you approach. Fancy helmet, Cityman. The dwarf behind him laughs. Stand up for yourself. Are you making fun of me, dwarf? Maybe I am. What are you doing about it, huh? Trying to act bigger than he is, like a tiny dog. I'm gonna stare at the dwarf. He looks around. Stare at the dwarf harder. The dwarf glances at his boss. You here for talking, then? I'm gonna stare at him while slowly leaning my head to the side. You should, he stutters and points towards the stout dwarf on the stage. Talk to him. Alright. I will nod and leave. As long as he understands who's in charge here. Oh, a sign. It says Viskin's Lich House. But then the dentistry is scratched out. Oh, the and dentistry. Ah, so it was a dentist and now it is no longer a dentist. Wait, what's this? There's an esoteric effect in place here stopping rainwater. I think there's a roof here stopping rainwater. But maybe I'm wrong. Former ale barrel. What's in it? Hey, money. I'll take money. I like money. Yeah. Right. Quick saving. Well, I suppose we should speak to this orc. Or, alternatively... Go grab that. Okay. I didn't know we could do that, but that's okay. Oh, no. Don't slip. Definitely do not slip. Walkway does not follow the Safety Council standards of 22. This takes guts. Okay. Well, we managed it. Down here? Tucked away bird's nest. Ascani gulls, perhaps? Engage. Go. I'm just gonna let the game path us back. That's okay. Ooh, that's interesting. We'll have a look at that at some point. We'll have a look at everything at some point. But for now, let's have a look at this. You see a bird's nest nestled on the edge of a protruding stone tile. Got eggs in it, unguarded as far as you can see. Just don't climb out there, man. You'll die, like, for sure. I'd really like to climb out there and give it a shot. No. Come on, just a little thrill? I'm gonna push it despite my groaning stomach. No, you will die. I fell into the river once, why not twice? Your gut twists at the thought of tumbling down those red rocks. Stop this, you have nothing to gain. Yeah, not at all. Yeah, let's not. Okay, my dex was higher than it would let me. This will let you live. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Hello, orc. This is Agent Viira. A strength check. Ooh. Nat 1. Who knows? Who knows anything about her, really? Do we know that she's an orc? I couldn't say that for certain. Okay, well. On the edge of the ruinous amphitheater, you see an orc sitting on one of the many loosened stone bricks. It looks like she's waiting for something. Or someone. Exuding an air of authority around her, the large woman gives you a wry smile. Her tusks are gleaming. Not just physically imposing, this orc knows how to exert power in other ways as well. What's this? Not often we get Earthguard around here. She presents her palm to you. Viira is my name. I'm second in command, guild agent of Tolstad. Nice to meet you. Yes, the handsome orc lady wants you to say a name. Make sure she knows you are a cleric. Do not grab her hand. That's not what that is. I'm the cleric, actually. Apologies, not Earthguard, cleric. I assume the term was interchangeable. There's no denying it now, you are a cleric. Of course, yeah. But suppose that you're not all But I suppose you're not all, she says, waving towards your outfit, esoterically attuned. She shoots you another smile, waiting patiently for you to say anything. I'm here on... Actually, what's the deal with the dwarves? Oh, them. Complicated as anything. I wouldn't be sitting here wasting my precious day if it wasn't for them. In short, they're holding an unlawful assembly. They won't let me look at the document proving it. Not frustrating at all, she says, and winks at you. She telegraphs her sarcasm heavily. This is useful when communicating with slower individuals. Explain it to me in detail from the top. The words leave your lips as if you've spoken them 100,000 times. It's all just an inconvenience. These lovely Asgalists have decided by themselves to hold a rally here on this lovely little circle square. Circle square? Hilarious. Unfortunately, they need a permission of public gathering or a PPG. They do not have a proper PPG. And you're just sitting here because... Simple, really. These dwarves are ignoring my call to disperse, so I am here as a witness. If they do not leave by sundown, they will be fined and or arrested. Why don't you just come back at sundown? I would, if it wasn't for the fact that I need to witness the entirety of the trespassing. Since they were served during the morning, if they do not disperse by sundown, they will be inflicted with an entire day's worth of fines. I'd have an assistant to do it, or a secretary, but we're stretched thin as it is with the election coming up. I'll just sit here and smile politely. Arrested by whom? She gives you a smug grin. You, perhaps. The monopoly on violence here in Tolstad is more of an oligopoly. Oligopoly? It'll be a roll of the die to see who gets employed to handle these rude dwarves. Maybe some goblins. The city of Norvik also allows us to employ mercenaries for extra legal enforcement. But the company likes to avoid that in most cases. As you can imagine, mercs tend to lack that finer touch. This woman loves to talk. Typical. Someone like her doesn't understand that it takes a man to handle a situation like this. Oh, no. My character's inherent manliness has gone down a very toxic path. I would love to enforce your justice. Well, the city's justice, but sure. Sounds like trouble. Trouble would at least be exciting. This is just dull. If only I could get my hands on those PPG documents. Then I could simply hand them over to the city and go home early. Or rather, head back to the office and complete the orc size. The draft for the marketing meetup. Sorry, I've got a lot on my plate. You need to help her. I'll solve this. Wouldn't that be something? That you could just swoop in and save the day. That's what I'll do. I'm a hero, you see. She laughs. You are indeed. She keeps laughing. I'm here on important business. Business, you say? She leans in and squints at you. Fascinating. Perhaps I can be of service, Cleric. For your business. Where is the goblin chieftain? Lady Sageleaf. Just head down these stairs. Good luck getting an audience, though. Is she busy? I sure hope so. It took us months to get in a room with her to discuss some renovations in the holes. The holes? The holes, a common slang for the central spire of apartments in Tolstad. The lower ones are less fancy. If she's not busy, she's a bitch. Dragon of Tolstad my ass. She catches herself from releasing any more profane comments. Anything else? What do you know about the tea shop? The tea shop that blew up, she says dramatically. Sounds like a magazine tale. I heard it was an accident. The Post mentioned it in passing. Minor mishap, I believe, was the official quote. Although, from what people tell me, it was quite the explosion. Quite, so you weren't in the area? No, I was on the North Wall, company business. North Wall? North Wall, one of the 5 districts in Norvik, known as the Industrial District for its many factories built along the river. This is where you live. Anyone who calls it the North Wall is probably not a local. Everyone who is cool calls it North Wall, just North Wall. She's not a local then. The sign of an outsider, she calls it the North Wall instead of just North Wall. She looks inland. Inland. A term for travel across the endless waste, away from the coast. I did see the smoke. It was a clear day. What do you think was the cause, Cleric? You know what? No. I need to start writing down notes here. Yes. Right. Got a pen. So, there's actually a clue in here, so I'm going to start. So this is tea shop, because this is our main mystery, so let's write some notes. So, first thing, it's a clear day. So if somebody's like, I can't see it because it's not a clear day, we're like, what's up? Assuming that she's telling the truth. But, I don't know. Okay. Carry on. What do you think was the cause, Cleric? If the city says it was an incident, then it is. Don't give too much away, she's prying. That's interesting, because this is incident and this is accident. Now, I'm assuming that 3 is linked to what we said in strength, right? But an incident and an accident are very different things. An accident implies no fault. An incident implies fault. So maybe I just say no comment? She raises an eyebrow. Hold on. Are you here to investigate the tea shop? Don't answer that. She has no control over you. She's a free strider, so, why run? Stand against her. She has no right. No. But actually, she says, holding out her hands, beware. This woman knows how to manipulate people. Maybe. Is that maybe a yes? Yes. Interesting, I'll be honest, I assumed the city would just ignore it. But they sent... you. Perhaps it was a secret. Should we have stoically avoided the question better? It's fine, she would find out eventually anyhow. It's sort of a giveaway. Clearly someone thinks this is an esoteric mess if they sent a cleric to look into it. Why would the city avoid sending a representative? Because of the election, of course. Look, Tolstad is a highly volatile district with lots of extremist ties. I believe this tea shop acted as a sort of lightning rod. So when a place like that blows up, why would any faction spend resources investigating it? Might even seem like a blessing to some to cleanse the city of its filthy holes. Especially when those resources could be spent on trying to win the terribly important election. Sound reasoning. While some might see it as corruption, I classify it more as simple, boring, but ultimately harmless bureaucracy. What exactly have you heard? It blew up. Fireplace incident. Okay. Let's just put down a little fireplace. We're getting our info here. Bullshit, of course. More likely a rogue spellcaster. Okay. We'll include that in, like, rumors. So there's a spellcaster maybe we're looking for? Okay. Esoteric, I keep hearing that word. What does it mean exactly? It means... Her eyes wander for a while, her brow furrows. Is a term to describe whenever anything queer happens, whether the cause would be regular spellcasting or something more esoteric. I'm sure you've noticed something you couldn't explain rationally. That would be esoteric. I'm assuming you, of all people, would know what it is, considering... She mimics casting a spell with her hands and points to you. Well, I'm here now. You sure are. Good luck, Cleric. If there's anything the Ascani Reeds Trading Company can do to help you out, let me know. You can usually find me down in our HQ on Waterlane. She smiles in a way that completely breaks down your defenses. Looking forward to seeing you there. She wants you for your government position. Nothing else. I'm done discussing business. You want to move on to more casual topics then? Politics, perhaps? I'd like to know more about you. Little old me, I'm an open book. Where are you from? She doesn't answer you at first. Instead, she looks away for a moment and smirks. You mean because I'm an orc I can't be Norwegian? She says, looking at you with a stern expression. Yes. Where are you from, orc? She scoffs at you. I don't know, human. Where do you think I'm from? Not my Norvik. She sighs. If you must know, then no, I was not born in Norvik. I'm from Blood City Bay. I ran with war bands when I was a girl. A powerful warrior here. Took me all around the coast, she explains, far from the cursed plains of Fell Tire. We were hired during the Third Revolutionary War in Reeds. When it was over, I stayed behind. As she speaks, you see her eyes glimmer. Those were the days. What's it like being an orc in Norvik? My kind is quite rare, so, she mumbles, her gaze trailing off towards the horizon. The occasional comment does sting a bit. I've gotten used to it. How nice of you to ask. Yes, I am a wonderful person. Your comment elicits a spontaneous laugh. Oh, gods be damned, you are a special little man. So you're working for the Free Striders? I don't work for the Revolution, it's just a revolution. I work for the Ascani Reeds Trading Company. We promote the Free Strider ideals in Ascan. Currently, we focus on making sure this election process goes smoothly, along with other economic concerns. I enjoy working for them very much, perhaps not so much on slow days like this, but alas. Democracy. I don't care for it. You're entitled to your opinion, she says with a smile. Not to pry, but if not a Free Strider, then what are you voting in the election? It's only a few days away. I'm voting for the Nationalistic Party of Norvik. Of course. Well, they've been in charge for the past decades. What could 10 more years hurt? Oh, sarcasm. I spot sarcasm. I'll be honest, this is one of the reasons I took this job, speaking with individuals such as yourself, hearing what they have to say. So thank you for that. Okay, well, as we've asked everything else, you are a strong and physically imposing woman. That's my attempt to flirt. She covers her mouth and tusks with a hand. I don't, or is that something like that? Anyway, philogenistic agenda added. Okay. You got one shot. She's bedazzled by your confidence. Don't fuck this up. Do it. Climb that mountain. Oh my. This is bad. Okay. Well, you got real nice tusks. Thank you. How nice of you to notice. That wasn't very bling treasure of you. Okay. Heart racing, but legs standing. You get another shot. Warning. This could end badly. Okay. This is not good. It's a DC 15 with a +4 on our end. This means we need an 11 to pass. 11 isn't impossible. We've had so many bad rolls. This has to be good. Oh, no. Even with our, +5 taken away from that, it's still not good. There's still... Well, actually, it would have been a pass, but only just. Your mind is blank. Literally, there's nothing that comes to mind except for the base desires of that aspect of your psyche we don't talk about. I suppose it's time to let it rip. Just go wild. I don't care. There's nothing that can be done anyway. Lost cause. Bottoms up. Do you want to wrestle with me, a member of the Holy Order of the River of Norvik? She stares at you, mouth agape. Finally, the orc composes herself and says, "You know, I'd love to, but I'm kinda busy. Later then? I'll think about it. This doesn't feel good. I lost 5 HP? Oh no. That's a huge hit." Viira looks at you with mouth agape, clearly unsure how to handle it. You've left me speechless. She clasps her hands together. Well done, not often that happens. Now that we're done with that, do you have anything else to ask at all? No. Okay, well. One of these days we'll get a good roll. Now, was suggested we head down here and talk to people down here? It seems like an idea. Oh, graffiti of a dragon. Goblin wall art. A green face is splattered across the facade, staring wildly towards a flaming sky and the dragon spread across it. Or something like that. Can you call this art? What does it mean? They believe in their dragon queen. Such worship should be encouraged, if only it was for earth instead. The fire is the soul, boundary between the real and the heartful. What does this tell me about the state of Norvik? Nothing, really. That goblins are artists? All folk seek a belief. They have simply made one out of this supposed dragon lady. A coherent thought from the red one. Impressive. They should worship Earth instead. There we go, back to insanity. I'm going to place my hand upon the wall. You take a step forward. The painted stone surface is smooth. Truly ancient. You feel an esoteric urge to communicate with this object. I get advantage on an esoteric check. Okay. So I need a 16 with advantage. Okay, advantage means you roll 2 dice. 2 dice. If you have 2 dice, one of them should be above 10. Correct? It makes sense. So if one of them is above 10, now we're asking, can it be between 1 and 6? Like, we effectively got a D10. And we're asking, can we roll a 6 on a D10? I think we can roll a 6 on a D10. Now, some people would argue that the maths that I just put before you are not good. Some people would argue that I've adjusted them to work for me clicking this button. And you would be correct. But... oh, I thought I passed for a second there, but I forgot. I needed a 16, not a thing that went above 16. Okay. Your focus falters. There's nothing to answer you. But something is there, beyond the silent, hard stone. Try again tomorrow, perhaps. Alright. Well. It almost made it look like it was working. So where are we? So we're now in Tolstead South, so we're in this area. Well, what are you? You are Braxo Pencilwing. Strength check. Yes! I know everything about the devil. Okay. Level 2 Scribe. Surprisingly content, hard worker, has a nested interest in the current regime. Devils used to be allowed into the city only on work visas, so he could have served for several decades. Somehow you just know this devil would gladly organize a mass genocide against non-humans in the city. Oh. This is no ordinary imp. His stature and position implies a former rank. A greater devil? What kind of game is he playing? Braxo, he works for the upper city echelon, and knows more than you'll ever hear. The tiny form is a convenience. Keep him as your friend, he will be useful. Oh, okay. You raise your head towards the sky. Above you sits a tiny red creature. His wings flutter faintly in the wind. He's just a little guy with wings, reading his little newspaper. An evil creature, beware. Staring at the piece of paper, he does not acknowledge your presence. This guy is the devil. Meek suggest Master be very, very careful. Hello, I am from the local government. A sigh escapes the fiend's maw. He slowly puts down the paper. I've paid my taxes. You can move on. Well done, citizen. Proud of you. The fiend gives you a nod and almost turns back to his paper. Wait, he says, leaning in to get a good look at you. Earthguard, a cleric? Hell's you doing here? At reaction, your presence is uncommon. Divine mission, the usual. Very well, I won't get in your way. I, for one, I am very happy for your presence. This place has gone downhill since the city let the goblins and the freestriders run amok. Oh no, the devil's a kiss-ass. We need some damn order in this place. Wise words. So if you need any legal advice, just let me know. He gives you a tiny, sharp smirk. You can hear out any advice, just don't listen to him blindly. Are you a barrister? A tiny barrister? No, I have no legal position within the city. I'm just fairly knowledgeable in the magistrate's code. So he works with city law. Ask him for details. He shows you a foul grin. So, what type of work do you do? If you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life, he says and smirks. Agreed. I love being a cleric of Norvik. Good, you should. It is a very honourable position to uphold the law. Now me? I do scribing most days. Got some connections within the palace, and believe me, phew, that's gotten me through some tough times. See, whenever some rich asshole needs a legal draft in a hurry, who do they send for? The guy with the wings, that's who. Awfully drab. Honourable. Always on call, huh? For sure, but I get around quick. What do you do in your spare time? Calligraphy. A true man knows the value of lettering. Oh, I do love me some reading. Gaining access to the Darwinian library changed my life. Darwinian Library, the largest public library in Norvik. You spent many years of your youth inside these stony walls. What's it like being a little red guy? You want my honest answer or the ones I tell to my clients? Honest. Okay, let me put it like this. Bloodlust. It fucking sucks donkey shit. So, do you know what it takes to get promotion these days? No? We're talking decades of servitude to some sadistic fuck that wants to return to Gorgorian's greatness or some shit like that. And then, after risking your life and humiliating yourself, there's a chance this fucking guy will put in the effort of promoting you. And if you're unlucky, you'll turn into a freaking bug. Or worse, something without wings. Tell me about these promotions. Sorry, forgot not everyone knows how Devilkin work. Let me put it like this. Devils have a ranking system. Some are lower, some are higher. Only way to get higher and metamorphosize into more powerful creatures is to be promoted by someone with a higher rank. But hey, could be worse, he says and cackles. Could be a demon. Demons are horrible, chaotic creatures that live by the rule of complete meritocracy, which would be amazing if it wasn't for the complete ineptitude at civilization building. What are you voting in the upcoming election? What am I voting for? Same as you, the little devil says with a laugh. The good guys. Ah, the Party of Norvik, got it. Oh, you know it. The only good choice. Anyway, you wanted something else? I'm done, I've asked everything I wanted to. He throws up his little arms in the air. It's over, by the gods. So dramatic, love the little guy. Can you give me free legal advice? Oh yes, I'll gladly assist a member of the Earthguard any day. Just ask. Okay. Should I invest in stocks? Oh. I do not give or have ever given investment advice. But, yes? He looks you up and down. Before I should ask, have you ever bought shares before, Cleric? Uh-oh. I don't share with anyone, little red man. Okay, some basics then. Popularized by the late Divine Era human adventurer companies, a share is essentially a percentage of an ownership of a certain venture. Could be a guild, it could be a company, could be a specific adventure, something that is supposed to grow over time so you can increase the value of your securities in that venture. It's a risky way to increase your capital without actually doing any real work. Gods, this devil is good. Learn from him. Why is it risky? It sounds like free money. Good question. Imagine you invest in an adventuring party. They head into the Verdun Hills to dive into some Gate Era tomb or an esoteric area filled with talking cats. Something weird and dangerous but with potential for a lot of cool treasure to be found and brought back. There's a major chance that these adventurers die out on their journey. If they do, you'll lose all the money you invested. They could make it back, in which case you'd get a percentage of the treasure based on your share, but how often do adventurers come back with a bunch of treasures these days? Okay, so I should buy stock. So, should I buy stocks? Look, there are rules in place. Norvik has rules governing what one can and cannot suggest when it comes to financial agency. Your god made these laws to protect people of lower than average intelligence from being tricked by those with ill intent. Okay. That didn't answer our question. Where can I buy stocks? You can buy shares directly from Adventure Trader. Basically, someone can give you a piece of paper that says, I owe you, with some legal information on it. Or you can go to a trade hub. I don't think the Tolstad exchange is open until after the election, though. Have you ever bought stocks? Sure, I spend about 40% of my income in risky ventures. Sometimes I even get paid in securities, which is nice since I won't have to pay any middlemen. Could people buy stocks in me? The little red devil stares at you. If you were to set yourself up as a venture, then maybe, I mean, you could convince someone to invest in you, you know, without breaking any laws regarding investment advice. I'd be impressed, so why not? What about currency trading? That's something I've heard about too. Oh, that's just the art of switching between various currencies. Say you got a pouch full of old embers, that is the old draconian coins. They're made of gold, so even though there are no governments these days who support it, you can always sell them for the gold value. Great, that's the most basic form of it. But when it comes to city-backed currencies, it gets more complicated. If you got 10 Brimarks, and let's say you want to convert them into Reedsian tens, how many do you get? Tens? Tens, the currency of the Free Strider Revolution. While the free cities have multiple currencies, the magical paper money of the Reeds is quickly growing into the most valuable across the coast. I don't know. Me neither. The value of each currency fluctuates day to day, as does the exchange rate to each other currency. Not to mention the location as well. Tens are powerful because of the far reach of the Free Strider trading charters. Brimarks are near useless in Norvik, so their exchange rate, while still not nothing, is quite low. That makes Blood City corporations way less interested in investing here, which then perpetuates the weak value of their currency. Cigs of old Dimenor are used in some places, sure, but bring them out in Norvik and any shopkeeper will laugh at you, holding out those shiny little crystal discs. Old Dimenor, a term for Dimenor often used to refer to the band before it was renamed Reeds during the end of the Coast War capitulation agreements. Some say it with sarcasm, some say it with pride, some say it with fear. Coast War? Coast War. A near-century spanning conflict between every great nation of the Arcane era. Scholars estimate it claimed more than half of the entire human population. It's said to have begun in 398 AE by the inciting spark of the assassination of priestess Ilona, and is generally agreed to be concluded with the fall of Thrazen in 481 AE, 57 years ago. Okay, Well, wait a second. So that's 57 years ago. So that means that it is currently 538. Yes. Yes, it is currently 538 AE. What does AE mean? I have no idea. Now, is it 538 AE, or is there actually a thing where it switches from AE to another system at some point? Like, year 500 is actually year 0 BF. Who knows? Anyway, carry on. While the penning is accepted automatically, almost as if it's a slightly less valuable crown. Penning? Penning, the currency of the Vizca kingdoms, as well as several dwarven fiefdoms on the Undercoast, is a commonly accepted coinage in Norvik. Undercoast? Undercoast, a nickname for the undersea coast. Then the Sol, on the other hand, extremely valuable, just because of the Golden Horde's influence. And the Ilum Japala, those weird little ice cubes, well, I'm guessing you've never seen one and never will. Take one to an exchange station, they'll quite literally think you're messing with them. But yeah, that's some info for you. He has been long-winded. I'm learning so much. He nods and grins. Economy, you know, messy and fun. That's all I have to ask about stocks. Hope you learned something, Cleric. What about alignment? Ah, yes, the overrules of morality. Norvik does not moralize over alignment. Officially. Alignment. Alignment! Everyone's got one. Some spells can detect it, but don't read too much into it. Alignment is just an internal thing. It doesn't really have too much real-world application. Nor do most of the city-states across the coast. Why don't we lock up all the evil folk? There have been states throughout history who've tried to. They ended up not doing too well. I'm no expert, but I would say it's mainly due to with the origin of this evil. It's selfishness at the core. It's got nothing to do with how people actually act. If you only allow the most good-hearted of folk to roam free, you'll end up with a country of nothing but good intentions. Ironically, I've heard the road to hell is paved with those. And you being a devil, are you know... Yes? You're evil? Oh yes, indeed. It is pretty easy to spot. He flaps his wings. It can be pretty discriminatory at times. People assume I have their worst interest at mind just because I'm ontologically evil. You don't have their worst interest in mind? Look, evil is not some objective thing. It's entirely internal, aligned with Jor's subjective opinion. There are some good people who ruin the world and evil folk who do their best to maintain it. That's the deal. What about wait, what does the law have to say on resurrections? That's one hell of a question. He smirks for a while. The imp's enjoying his pun before moving on. What a sociopath. Oh, one hell of a question. Now I'm enjoying it. Higher tier resurrections aren't illegal, they're just not available anymore. There are a handful of known divine resurrection spells. Not available? I figured a cleric would know better than me, but he says and shrugs. Sass. Spells over 4th or 5th are rarely seen these days. If you want to know why, go pray. After Earth died, it's been a bit hard for even the top-ranking clerics to manage higher tier magic. At least if you believe the rumors at the towers, which you should. What about low-level resurrections? There's Revivify, that's it. Revivify? Revivify, a 3rd level necromancy spell. If used within 60 feet of death and the body isn't too ruined, the target is brought back to life. High-ranking officials love having clerics around for this one spell. Bunch of pussies. Doesn't murder still count if the victim is resurrected? He thinks about the question for a bit. There's been cases. Heard of a man stabbed in a bar fight, bled out just in time for a drunk cleric to arrive, cast Revivify, and the bloke lived. The stabber ended up being charged with major transgression of personal well-being. That's not murder per se, but I'd argue it had more to do with the fellow's barrister making it clear to the judiciaries that there was no killing intent. So, not an accident, but not a murder, just a brawl gone too far. But that'd be a hard sell if the victim wasn't breathing. This is very complicated. Gods be good if I ever come across something like it. But in most cases I'd say yes. So don't go around murdering folk and revivifying them, Cleric. Would be kind of funny, but you know, don't. Are you legally considered alive after resurrection? Yes, for all intents and purposes, you are alive. Undeath, on the other hand, would be a very different affliction. How is that defined? As long as the necromancy is considered of divine origin and soul is returned to a healthy body, then it's considered a normal resurrection. If the origin is more black magic shit, as they say, or some kind of corpse animation, then it would be considered as bodily sacrilege. And that's a top tier criminal offense. How top is it? Oh, it's up there. Well, I hope that's not our current situation. Does death absolve your crimes? Now you're asking the real questions. But no, it does not. There's been actual laws signed in old kingdoms over this shit. He leans in, looking excited. Ooh, he's dancing for you. Keep it up and he'll love you to death. He looks so happy to go on about this subject. Good for him. So, classic story, alright? A real bad guy is caught murdering his neighbor. Real sick shit. He's executed after a quick trial. Justice wins again, everyone's happy. But surprise, some holy man raises him up a couple of months later. Holy man or foul necromancer? In this situation, the bad guy did technically pay for his crimes. His life was taken by the state. Just because somebody gave it back to him doesn't change that fact, right? Well, people weren't too happy with that, as you can imagine. Thus, the common legal term these days for capital punishment is DIP. DIP, Death in Perpetuity. Stands for Death in Perpetuity. Kind of funny when you think about it. I follow the law. Don't need to say anything else, I follow the law. Good, then you're better than most, he says and winks. So to keep criminals dipped, most states tend to hide, lock up, or simply burn corpses and spread the ashes using non-resurrectable methods. So a properly dipped dead guy shouldn't be able to return without the use of some miraculous 9th level spell, which obviously these days isn't too likely. Well, that's all I wanted to ask about resurrections. Anything else? What about Charm Person? Charm Person? Such a fascinating spell. Of course, all spellcasters are required to be registered in Norvik. It's the same in all not completely chaotic city-states. There are certain spells that are just not allowed at all, like Fireball is a popular example. Fireball, a 3rd level evocation spell, causes fire to emerge at a given point, spreading within a 20-foot radius, filling up available space. A Charm Person is, despite its devilish mind control, legal if it is cast by a registered cleric or a city-hired interrogating mage. Private entities are not allowed to learn or cast it, although I can promise you many still do. Can I cast it on you? Sure, but it'd be a waste, since I'm already your friend, Cleric. He shoots you a devilish grin. I have some questions about a PPG. Permission of public gathering? Yeah, I think I know what you're getting at. He throws a look over his shoulder. He finds the dwarves as annoying as you do. What's a PPG? Imp takes a deep breath. A permission of public gathering is a legal document showing the intent of a magistrate of a certain district to allow an individual of a party represented by that individual to gather in a public place such as a town square, street, or a city tunnel to perform, protest, exclaim, fraternize, or any other non-commercial activity. Can I have a PPG? Not from me, ask Darrow. Darrow, one of the original Earthfolk houses to found Norvik with Earth. Their bloodline can still be found in high positions around the city. Nicholas Darrow, chosen magistrate of Tolstad, a man known for little else than being the great-grandson of Borgo Darrow, the legendary right-hand man of Earth. Borgo Darrow, the legendary first paladin of Earth, founded the Earth Guard and died tragically at a young age. He is remembered as the manly ideal in Norvik. Or maybe don't, unless you've got some really important message to deliver to the people. You do! Okay. Yep. How long does it take to get a PPG? A week, depending on your contacts and your pouch. That's all about the PPG. I'm getting hungry. Should get a snack soon. He stares off into the distance. Oh, you were saying? You hear about the tea shop? Yeah, of course. Pretty hard to miss when flying past Holstad. What's your take? It blew up. Not sure what else you want to hear. Why do you think it blew up? Honestly, haven't seen a blast zone like that since the Coast War. And you didn't hear this from me, but... The little fellow is helping you out of self-interest, surely. Be careful. The scorch marks make it look like those from a fireball, but not the kind you get from a trigger-happy pit fiend. We're talking high-level wizard stuff. Okay, so on our spellcaster line, we think it's fireball. Okay. High-level wizard. High-level wizard. Just adding it to my notes. Okay, okay. So, we're being told it's some kind of fireplace accident. That's the official line. However, he's saying he's pretty certain it was a high-level wizard casting it. Got it. Be careful, Cleric. Powerful forces are at work here. Thinking about it for a few more seconds makes it clear to me it's all a big cover-up. Wouldn't be the first time a city-trained spellcaster goes a little off the hinge. Oh, city-trained. Oh no, I had a sudden just flash. I'm like, a city-trained spellcaster, huh? A city-trained spellcaster. Who could it be? Looking at myself as a suspect now. There is corruption in every system, even in the great city of Norvik. Although I guess we're not a wizard, we're a cleric. We're the cleric. You must root out that corruption. Cleanse the city. Okay. Other than that, not to be self-incriminating or anything, but could be a fiend or an elemental, I mean, wattling at shipments from Kargamesh every other month. Maybe a fire elemental slip through? Who knows? I think it's a rogue spellcaster. It's the simplest answer. But I'd suggest having a chat with the owner of the tea shop. Oh, ruffled feathers, another new quest. Who knows what feathers were ruffled, eh? He gives you an ominous chuckle. Citizen? Well, that's a lot of info we just found out about that guy. And we can come to him with any of our problems. The Goblin Garden is ahead, you feel it. Nature seeps through the cracks here. Well, that seems like a good point to end the episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.